Can you beat Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 in 24 hours? Well, of course you can, but hear me out. Back in March of 2024, I decided to jump back into the world of streaming, after some indirect encouragement from some friends to go for it, after I floated the idea of doing various challenge runs across the Dark Souls trilogy. After my initial playthroughs, Dark Souls 1 Magic Only, Dark Souls 2 Sorceries into Hexes Only, and Dark Souls 3 Sellsword Twin Blades, I looked at the playtimes and thought to myself, this is not too far away from the 24-hour mark, not knowing that my initial 16-hour D-Rust playthrough of Dark Souls 3 would be cut in half after a magic-only playthrough, which was a fun puzzle to solve, and I need to revisit during my unfinished business month later this year. To be on top of that, and other adventures I embark on, make sure to also follow my Twitch, linked down below. Now, what are the goals of this run? Simple. Take the games, beat the final boss, and roll the credits. Rules. As long as it's possible within the game, I can do it. One exception though. I allowed myself to use a save organizer for Dark Souls 3 to reattempt a cheese. You only get one single attempt per save file, unless you back your save file up. Considering that this challenge was going for an entire day, and I went into this challenge with a hurt hand and building up mental fatigue at that point, I deem that fair, and if you disagree, you can... Actually, feel free to tell me how this invalidates the challenge of this run. Something comments, something algorithm. The overlords seem to like that. Alas, let's get to business. We've got a lot of footage to cover. The beginning is relatively straightforward, Dark Souls 1. For convenience sake, I went with a sorcerer class, mainly as staffs and talismans, do not require any upgrade materials for the damage potential to emerge. In fact, even in the Asylum we already have fairly good damage. But that's not a surprise to anyone with even just 5 minutes of experience within Dark Souls 1. Off to Firelink Shrine, and it's time to do some shopping. And on the way to Andre, I picked up a few souls in order for a glitch that I'm about to do. I believe it's called quantity storage. There are various names out there in the community. Again, considering that I was afraid this run might take up to 16 hours, I told myself I'm going to use this soul due simply so I can make life a bit easier early on in the run. Now, with all that being taken care of and me quickly embarrassing myself, next up, Taurus Demon. This guy really doesn't put up a fight. Particularly with that high of level, 8 soul arrows are more than enough. And with him being taken care of, we slide down one of the longer letters in the game and quickly free a merchant. He's gonna be important in just a few moments. And in fact, that moment will be very soon, because he will provide us more powerful soul arrows and a Dragon Crest ring which boosts our damage by 20%. And with that, we are off to the gargoyles. These guys don't really put up a fight. The first one goes down in 2 heavy soul arrows. I just need to actually hit him. That is the difficult part. And after that, we are basically off to ring the bell. With bell number 1 being rung, we return to Firelink Shrine. Grant Lautrec the canonical death. We next go to Quelaag and take care of her. Thankfully, with the more powerful soul arrows, she doesn't really put up a fight as the others. You might be sensing a theme here. And with her being defeated, we ring the second bell, open up the gate to Sen's Fortress, and instantly go there. After a minute or two of Takeshi's castle, I free another merchant, who will provide me with soul spears and homing soul mass, which are going to be the main damage sources for the rest of the run. Following that, Hydra goes down, Crown of Dusk is acquired, and next stop, Iron Golem, who will not be a cheese. However, the soul spears make quick work of him. Off to Anne Orlando. Now this is gonna be painful. I've had another way to embarrass myself, with gravity. The Painting Guardians are thankfully not that big of a problem with homing soul mass. Thankfully the Silver Knight saw that I embarrassed myself, and out of pity, jumped off the balcony himself. Now, Ornstein and Smo. In my previous playthroughs, I rarely had an issue with the two of them. But apparently I was nervous in this playthrough, so first time around I got killed. Thankfully, the second attempt went much better, still with a few issues, but that is just Ornstein and Smo jank for you. Off to quickly grab the Lord Vessel, having a horrible accident, remembering to place the Lord Vessel, and off to Duke's Archives. I quickly embarrass myself, as became tradition in this run. And then I get deleted by Steve. After that, I quickly bonk the snake in the back, escape from a prison, and unlock the shortcut. Quick return to Firelink Shrine to grab some more spells, on my way to Steve, which totally goes without any issues. Without any issues. As I said, you didn't see anything. Now, Steve obviously has a higher magic resistance. This means those extra spells came in handy, and we still needed great heavy soul arrows to finish Steve off. Up next, we have Sif, and thankfully this time around, outside of a few skill issues, Sif has been a good puppy. Enjoy your treats in Dark Heaven. I'm so sorry, I don't want to do it. That's why I don't like running Dark Souls 1. 4 Kings. That fight has been very straightforward. Unfortunately, I did mess up a little bit here and there, so I believe I had to fight 3 or 4 Kings. 4 Kings? I can't be bothered to check the footage, but I definitely could have done better, but I didn't die. Pinwheel is obviously the hardest boss in the entire game, and I wonder how I'm gonna beat him. Oh, maybe I do have to play Dark Souls 1 Soul Level 1 to make him a challenge. Moving on, Gravelord Nito. A problem boss for many people, until they remember that poise actually works in Dark Souls 1. And thus I just spam him into the ground. Did you know that you can defeat Ceaseless Discharge without punching his arm 6 times? Asylum Demon Round 2, bottom text. And up next, Centipede Demon. While I do not enjoy this fight all too much, I at least prefer it over the human centipede equivalent of a boss that we're about to have. And in fact, Bed of Chaos did provide me with a few deaths due to its absolutely perfect and flawless design, which was only made better by the dev team getting all the time in the world which they needed before release. However, now Bed of Chaos is taken care of, and we're off to Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. And of course, Gwyn is easily countered by locating the left trigger or L2 on your controller, so he wasn't too much of a fight to deal with. And with that, we have completed Dark Souls 1 in 2.5 hours, roughly. Up next, Dark Souls 2, which I will take care of in a different video, as I am going to recap this challenge in 3 separate videos. To recap this game, I do have to say, I still enjoy playing it. Obviously, it is a quick playthrough, 2.5 hours, a relatively casual speedrun, obviously utilizing glitches, and it's not too shabby. Now, with roughly 13-14 years of time having passed, I've got to say, it has obviously aged. And as you can tell, there are some mechanics which Dark Souls 3 and onwards have done a lot better. They have improved. And yet, in some way, I gotta say, I still still enjoy this game. With all that being said though, I will wrap this video for today and I will start working on recapping Dark Souls 2 of my 24-hour challenge. Which, how long did I last? Only one way to find out. However, thank you for those of you who stuck through the end. I appreciate you guys for watching, and genuinely, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.